So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, broadcast and recorded live on blogtalkradio.com from the new media and American League Baseball capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. Beyonce Knowles and Ali Larter star in producer Will Packer's new movie, Obsessed. I don't know about you, but after learning those two are in it, I don't really need to hear much more to know I'm going to go see it. But if I'm in the minority, let me say that from the trailer, it looks like a Basic Instinct type thriller, with Larter, who you may know as one of the stars of NBC's Heroes, as the Sharon Stone-style intruder upon Beyonce's once quiet marriage. Here's a short clip from the trailer.
You have an appointment with us?
I'm just a temp.
You're a temp?
I did some trading with the other temps and I wrangled your desk. I hope that's okay.
Always nice to have a pretty girl around the office, isn't it, boys? Yes, sir.
Does Christmas party get pretty wild?
Not usually.
Well, that's no fun.
Hey, don't.
Stop.
Why didn't you call me back today?
We had a temp, but she didn't leave a number.
Is she pretty?
Pretty plain.
It is such a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Charles.
Hi. You said she was playing. That girl may be a lot of things, but she ain't playing.
I wouldn't know. I only have eyes for you.
Joining me to talk about the movie Obsessed is Will Packer, who brings more credibility to this show's claim that St. Petersburg is the new media capital of the world. This is his hometown. I'm told he even received the key to the city to prove it. Will, welcome to Mr. Media.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to talk to somebody down there in the media capital of the universe.
See, folks, you're hearing it. There's your supporting evidence. I bring you greetings from home.
Absolutely. How's the weather down there, man?
You know what? It's been gusting to 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds today. It's been a very strange St. Petersburg day.
Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
So, Will, Beyonce Knowles, Ali Larter, St. Petersburg man makes good, huh?
Hey, man, I like to think so. You know, I am definitely a St. Petersburg product, and this is probably my 13th or 14th film now. I'm really excited about this one because, you know, I think that at the end of the day, it's a thriller, and I think that we've got some really, really relatable characters in this film, and it's a human drama about interpersonal relationships, and you know, I think it's a good commercial film. It's entertainment. It's like, you know what, pull up your seat, grab your popcorn, and hold on.
How did this movie come about? How did you get involved with this?
Well, you know, I have a good relationship with Sony's Screen Gems, and this was a script that was bouncing around at Screen Gems. It was written by a guy named David Lowery, who's a good friend of mine, who wrote Lakeview Terrace for Screen Gems, which starred Sam Jackson. And he also, you know, is very familiar with the thriller genre from stuff like Hand That Rocks the Cradle. And it was brought to me, and I responded to it. I said, you know what, this is the type of film that you could do some really interesting casting with and execute it well, and I think audiences will respond to it. So once I got on board, then we started going out to cast, and I brought in my buddy Idris Elba, who I've done a few pictures with, and he's doing a guest stint on The Office right now. He's known from HBO's The Wire. We've worked together on a film called This Christmas and The Gospel, and an upcoming heist movie. And then we got Ali Larter from NBC's Heroes, who was really interesting because she kind of brought the right balance of sexiness and allure that you need to have, but she also brought a lot of depth to the character because you have to empathize with the femme fatale. I think she does a good job of bringing that across in the role. And then there was Beyonce, the Queen Bee, and you know, I think that we gravitated to her for the same reason that she gravitated to the material, and that was this was a new look for her, to be frank. You know, she's worked very, very hard to create the global persona that is Beyonce. And now I think she's very interested in working very hard to establish herself as a credible actor. And I think I know she's going to be a force to be really reckoned with. And part of that is making decisions in roles like this, which are very different from that global persona. She plays a housewife. She doesn't sing. She's not involved in music. She's not glamorous all the time. She's, a housewife who gets caught up in a situation where somebody threatens her very existence, her way of life, and she has to go into self-preservation mode.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking the real acting for someone like her who's got such a huge presence. I mean, I'm thinking of her right now on stage with Prince during the Grammys, and she's got those legs that go from here to, and
forever.
Yeah, forever. And then, for her to come on screen, the minute she's on screen, she has to convince you that she's a housewife here, that she's not Beyonce, that she's not a singer, and that would probably be the biggest challenge for her, I would think.
Yeah, and you know what? That was something that we spent a lot of time talking about because, when you have a Beyonce in a film, a lot of times that can really overshadow everything else. And she really, really, one thing about her when you meet her is you see why she's so successful because she got such a tremendous work ethic. Everything she does it 150%, and she does it until it's right. And she brought that to the set, and it was very pervasive, and it helped, to just buoy all the other actors and filmmakers, and everybody could feel that kind of energy from her. And she spent a lot of time and effort wanting to really kind of get into this character and become it so that it would be believable to an audience that has all her albums and posters on the wall and, look at the blog sites and that type of thing. And, in today's contemporary age, we feel like we know our superstars, and it makes it difficult for them to be actors and assume different personas in these various roles.
Obviously, this is a very different role than her, what I think was her first one, which was in the one of the Austin Powers movies.
Yeah, very different from that. Very different from that character. I forget the name, but yeah, Foxy Cleopatra. Right. This is not Foxy Cleopatra. This is also not Dina Jones in Dreamgirls, and it's also not the girl in the Fighting Temptations opposite Cuba Gooding. I mean, it's a very, very, very different role for her, and like I said, I think that's why she embraced the opportunity to do something different.
Did you know her before this film came about?
No, this is our first time working together. I knew Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child, but that was pretty much it. I had not been involved. I've done some films with music stars before. I've worked with Chris Brown on his films. I've worked with the rapper T.I. So I was familiar with the dynamic of working with a music artist in film, but I hadn't worked with her before, and I got to tell you, it was an enjoyable experience.
Oh, there's a dynamic with working with musicians on film? I'd never heard of such a thing.
Can you imagine? Yeah, bringing them from their world into ours is always interesting, I'll say. But I've been fortunate to work with some folks who get it and who take it seriously and who come to play. And you need that. As a producer, when you're trying to juggle so many things and it's all about, the execution of the project, you need willing participants. You need people who are buying into the overall vision of the project.
No diva moments on the set for Beyonce?
The diva moments that Beyonce had on set were called for in the role, and this character is really not a diva, but she, there's a lot of physicality in this role, so that was easy for her because she is such a physical presence in her stage shows and her music videos, so that aspect of it she welcomed. And, she would be on set and she would, for some of the physical fight scenes that she had to perform, she'd want to hear some music, some up-tempo music just to, get herself in the zone and get ready to go. And, she's the type that we would be on, say, our 10th or 11th take of a very, very physically demanding sequence. And everybody's tired, tongue wagging, the stunt doubles are tired. I mean, even us behind the camera, we're like, whew. And Beyonce's over there like, okay, one more time. Let's go again. One more time. And we're all going, are you kidding? So she's a force to be reckoned with. Trust me.
Now, we only have a couple minutes left, so a couple other things I want to ask you about. There are not many prominent African-American producers in Hollywood, to the best of my knowledge. To what do you credit your success and growing success at that?
I think that I had a good foundation. I was born and raised in St. Petersburg, Florida. I had two parents who told me you can be anything you want to be. And then I went to Florida A&M University, and there I majored and graduated magna cum laude in electrical engineering, a field about as far from the movie business as you can think of one. But you know what it did? It really honed my analytical skill sets and my analytical mind, because engineering and all the technical disciplines, they're about problem solving and approaching challenges in a very analytical way, and that's what a producer does. So I think that, and then my innate drive and ambition to say, you know what, it doesn't matter, what my background is, if I have any Hollywood connections, which I did not, I'm going to come in, I'm going to be a force to be reckoned with in this industry, and I've been fortunate that I've been involved with some projects that have been very successful, especially for what they were made for. And that's how Hollywood judges success. Are you successful versus your spend? Are you producing commercially viable projects based on what you spend on those projects? And I have been, and that's been fortunate. I've been fortunate to be that way.
And the last minute or two that we have, I have to ask you about St. Petersburg. What part of town did you grow up in? Where did you go to school?
I grew up in South St. Petersburg, and I went to St. Pete High School. I was student body president there. I was Mr. St. Pete High School there, and it was good. I went to Maximo Elementary, and I love St. Pete. I come home and I'll do like speaking engagement and stuff. I just spoke at my mom's church a couple of weeks ago, and I get a lot of hometown love. I love that area. Eventually, I want to move back to Florida. Right now, I split time between Atlanta and L.A., but I'm a Florida boy through and through, and I love it down there, man.
And last question, what piece of St. Petersburg stays with you wherever you go, either physically or emotionally, what have you?
You know what? I'd have to say, because it's so much a part of who I am, I'd have to probably say my parents, my upbringing. Wherever I go, growing up right there, a product of the St. Petersburg, Pinellas County public school system, right there in that house on 39th Street South. Like, that is, it stays with me. Them telling me there are no excuses in life. Your destiny is what you make it. Your success is what you define it. That saves me wherever I go. I use it every day.
Well, folks, Obsessed, starring Beyonce Knowles, Ali Lauder, Idris Elba, and Jerry O'Connell, opens in theaters everywhere on April 24th. And the film has a pretty cool website, too. It's www.ruobsessed.com. That's the word R-A-R-E-U-Y-O-U, and then you figure out how to spell obsessed. ruobsessed.com. Will, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Good luck with the movie, and maybe we'll get to see you next time you come home.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mr. Media. Take care, buddy.
You too, Will. Good luck.
All right.
Bye-bye. And, folks, for more interviews with actors, directors, producers, and screenwriters, surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my earlier conversations with Billy Bob Thornton, Kirk Douglas, Ali Sheedy, Leah Thompson, David Simon, David Fury, and many more. And please think about writing an online review of Mr. Media, casting a vote for Mr. Media, or marking Mr. Media as one of your favorites, whether you listen on Blog Talk Radio, MySpace, Facebook, High Five, Tagged, Bebo, Orkut, Digital Journal, Podcast Pickle, Vox, Pointer Online, iGoogle, Yahoo, Folio, Mediafly, Podfeed.net, Blueberry, Zencast, or Odeo. You can find this show anywhere. Subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes, and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@andelman.com. That's ANDELMAN. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Andelman. Thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you sharing a piece of your day with Mr. Media. Come back and see us again real soon, everybody. Thanks for listening.